What's up, guys? Welcome back to The Wolves Den. I'm here with Victor, and today I'm bringing you a review of A Cure for Wellness. Now, this is a new horror thriller directed by Gore Verbinski, and it's starring Dane DeHaan as the main character, with Jason Isaacs and Mia Goth as probably, arguably, the next two important characters to the story, to the movie as a whole. It's about Dane's character named Lockhart. He's just this ambitious businessman who is sent to the sanitarium in the Swiss Alps, I believe, if I remember right, by the board of directors of the company he works for, because there's financial situations going on in that business. So they send him there to retrieve the CEO so that certain legalities involving the business can be taken care of that only the CEO can deal with. So he goes there, and things aren't quite what they seem. On the surface, this it does seem just like a typical sanitarium, but bigger, considering the freaking scale of the building within the movie and just the sheer number of people you see. So things just seem a little normal at first, but then as things are rolling, Lockhart is he's confused as to what's going on, and you as the audience member are confused too. This is a very unorthodox movie. I've seen quite a number of unorthodox movies lately, not gonna lie. This is a very strange movie. It is pretty confusing. It is not straightforward, with a little bit of straightforward mixed in it. Like, that's part of the weirdness. I've had plenty of nights to sleep on it. I'm still trying to wrap my head around this movie. And I don't mean that in a bad way, though, because personally, I like movies that you have to think about after you see them, whether it's on a philosophical level or a what the hell did I just watch? Like, I need to rewatch this so I can like structure all this in my brain. Whatever kind of way it is, I respect the aspect of forcing you as the viewer to think after you saw it. Even during the viewing, it forces you to think. So to me, that's a positive. But again, I reiterate, I'm still trying to wrap my head around it because it is weird. The plot is so like zigzaggy. Like, it's going in one direction and then bam, something else is going on involving the plot. Like, it's not like a bunch of swirly lines as the way it tells its story. It's it's going in a linear direction, but it's just making a bunch of twists and turns. That's what the hand movement was about, because it's going in one direction, but it is. It's just making these little turns along the way throughout the entire thing. They aren't random, not random as in like maybe there's a couple moments that are just, bam. Like, it's happening throughout it a lot. It was, all in all though, personally, I liked it. I can't say a lot yet, but I do like it. I think I'd have to see it a second time before I can actually say how much I like it. But so far, I do have a thumbs up, just on a personal level. This is not going to be the most popular movie out there, I do not think. I can see this being not necessarily hated, but maybe pissing off some people because, again, it's a very confusing movie. I could see some people just walking out of it, and I could see it from what I've seen already. Though it's a mixture of like neutral reviews and some good reviews, but I think it's gonna be one of those movies, not to the degree of like 2001: A Space Odyssey, but in that realm of not all that popular at first, but then some years down the road, I could see it growing in popularity. Now that I said that, it's obvious why I used 2001: A Space Odyssey as the example, because that's what happened with it. It was hated at first. Now it's one of the most popular movies ever, one of the most respected movies ever. I won't say this will happen the same way, but it'll be in a similar fashion. I think it'll grow an audience. I think people will end up liking it, and I think it'll be discussed. Right now, it's gonna be on a small spectrum discussed. I'm sure as hell gonna be talking about this movie. especially with the people I saw it with, because they were also, because it's strange, but I say that in a good way though, because it respects the audience. There's a little bit of like exposition weirdness, not that like there's too much exposition, but like the way some of the exposition was done was just really very awkward. Dane's character Lockhart, he would get this little backstory from multiple characters throughout in the movie throughout the story, giving him a different spectrum of the same story though, where it's kind of like a folk tale where a minor detail is changed, but that minor detail creates the grand scheme of things to be just completely different when you look at them and you compare everything. And then he finally learns the full truth through a certain way in the movie, and the ending, well, the little sequence right before the ending rather, was very disturbing. Not in a visual gross way, but like just ew. On a moral way. Hey, this is probably my weirdest talking of any of my reviews though, because of how weird this movie is. Like, I really want to see it a second time and then do like a revisiting video. I doubt I'm going to. Maybe I will. I have a discount theater in town. Maybe I'll do it then. But we'll see. I'll figure it out as I'm going. But this is it's a good movie. It's got a certain tone to it that is definitely not your normal movie. The whole time it's dark. It's like there's an overcast the entire time. It's like not sunny at all once. At least that's what it seemed. Like they definitely had the lights turned down in the studio. The acting was pretty awesome though. Lockhart, Dane rather, playing Lockhart, he did a damn good job. I will admit, I wasn't the biggest fan of him in some of his other stuff, but he's won me over after this movie. I approve of him now. I can't wait to see what else he does. Jason Isaacs, he plays a great... I don't want to give it away. He does a damn good job, though. And then Mia Goth, she's like... It's like her character is accidentally creepy. It's cool. Definitely pay attention to her when you see if you see this movie. Yeah, those are the three main. All three of them did well. They all did very well. I would love to spoil this movie just so I can get all my thoughts out, but I don't feel like spoiling a movie like this at all. So at the end of the day, everything's said and some other stuff that I haven't said because of not wanting to spoil this movie. So obviously, thoughts in my head that I can't say without spoiling. I think I gotta give this movie a B-. I do like it a lot. I can't say I love it without viewing it at least a second time. But again, we'll see. It's just, with it being as strange as it is, there was just some things throughout the movie that just didn't quite click as much as I don't think they wanted them to. And again, just going off of my first and only viewing, maybe seeing it a second time, maybe it'll seem a lot more smooth. But I'm sticking to that right now. Those things just didn't seem to click as well as they might have seemed on paper, maybe. So, but definitely give this movie a shot. It is worth a theater ticket, honestly. It is well worth your time to see it. It really is. Let me know down below if you have, though, and what your thoughts are. Let me know if you don't plan on seeing it. If you're a fan of horror, let me know if you considered this movie an actual horror. Because personally, I considered it more of a suspense thriller instead of an actual horror movie. I can see why it was labeled horror, because the situation is of that nature. But it just didn't feel like that to me. Share this video if there's anybody you know who want to get somebody's thoughts on this movie who have not seen this movie, because I was curious and I went in blind. All I knew were the commercials. That was it. I didn't look anything up. just the commercials. Definitely subscribe if you're into my content and you want to see more of it, and view my previous videos. Coming to my Wolves Den, you're more than welcome. Until the next thing I put up, you guys take it easy.